Did he not blink at all, or did he blink too short?
He did not blink at all.
Wowie. Yeah, that's painful. That could have been an easy double kill.
But forgot to shift.
Yeah, Slardar having plenty of opportunity here to open up space later in the game and to get kills later in the game. That's a missed opportunity, but he is going to carry extremely hard, especially once that weave comes online and starts doing its thing as well. We've actually just on cooldown right now, so they could go ahead and try to make a group interaction with that weave, with the level 3 vacuum. There's going to be an engagement here as Jigglebilly's going way too far forward. And what are you doing there? Indeed, there's going to be the wave catching 1-2 of them. Jigglebilly getting it some extra armor, but it is... No, there's going to be the stampede. The dust goes off, and the grave keeping him up. And Pandago's going to trade off his own life for Slardar, who probably wasn't going to die anyway. Now Bright just farming up. Oh, Mirana not done yet. She throws out an arrow. Now she's chasing off into Justin. Justin throwing out some auto attacks here as Case comes in to defend him. He throws up the ion shell. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, IX Mike is going to grab a tower. Yeah, and this is a Roshan attempt as well.
Yeah, and the first tower of the game for SNA. I like that they didn't go for the Slardar because they knew that the grave would come out. No, very controlled fight for them. I mean...
Yeah, it showed discipline.
I always find Stampede, that sound alone will make you just want to run at the enemy hero and just crush them and kill them. But they were very controlled. They had the Moonlight Shadow and the Stampede on and still only were satisfied with taking the Dazzle and then not overextending to try and find more people. I really like that arrow.
Oh, it is going to split the wickets. And Ember Spirit's going to retreat. However, the swap is going to secure a kill on that Shadow Shaman. Bright taking a lot of damage. The Weave goes out. Whitebeard Dota also taking some damage in the tower. He's going to be taken down by the Ember Spirit. Comes down from the high ground with the Activate Remnant. There's going to be the Blink. Jigglebilly is going to stun out the TA trying to get away, but there's going to be an additional stun. The Aegis immediately pops. Sna is going to back out, try to buy some time with an arrow. The arrow is not going to land on anybody. They just go around it. And now, Dota taking a lot of damage again. He has nowhere to go. He's got nowhere to hide. He is going to go down. 3 for 1, and the Aegis loss for Sna. That's trouble.
That minus armor.
Yeah, that minus armor strat paying off in dividends.
Oh, that was the kills at the start of the fight. That minus did so much work. I mean, they started off without the Shadow Shaman, of course, because he got picked up real fast. But then the Dazzle Weave came out. You've got some amplified damage on some of the targets, and it's just too much. Everybody just melts under that. It is quite insane. I would really hope for SNA to actually get something like... I mean, obviously they're not going to get an AC real fast, but maybe even just a Vlad's. I mean, you don't have that many melee heroes, but it's fine. It gives that extra armor aura. I think they really definitely need something like that. Yeah. I mean, they've got an Aquila, that's nice for a little bit, but...
Yeah, even if they were to just sack that Aquila with a Bassi and not even go for the full Vlads, the Aquila plus the Bassi would be enough to give them something to counteract all of this negative armor that's just going to keep ramping up over and over and over again. IX Mike's hero, the Centaur War Runner, very dependent on having armor. The more armor you have, the more attacks you can take, and of course the more attacks you can take, the more damage you can output with that return. So he needs to get up a significant amount of armor here soon. The weave goes out. There's going to be the trap on Ice Mike, who blinked in way too deep. Shadow is not going to go up soon enough, and he is going to go down. I don't know what he was doing down there, to be honest. When I heard him blink, I thought he blinked the other way. And then I looked at my mini-map, and he was in a world of hurt.
Yeah, quite a large world of hurt. In the meantime, Mirana almost got the tier 1 on the top lane, but the fortification actually stops her from getting it. Let's see if the knife comes in.
Oh!
Yes, vacuum into the knife. Very nicely done by Cakes.
That was a clutch play, and Sna's working on that tower for so long. He's got to feel a little bit robbed. Not only was he working on that tower for the last, like, 30, 35 seconds, but he also worked on it for maybe a solid 2 minutes earlier in the game, so... A grand total of 2.5 to 3 minutes spent on that tower for a deny. You just got it. It hurts. It hurts to watch.
Yeah, and with the graphs actually showing that this game is fairly even, which at the moment it is, I actually am kind of worried for Sneaky Nick's Assassins because they have the lineup that would require them to be ahead at this point of the game, and they are not.
Yeah, they are really starting to lose control of the game. They have less map control, I would argue, although their vision is a little bit better at the moment. That's going to start to expire soon. They do not have the capacity to really move out and gank hard against the Slardar now because they waited too long. The TA is trying to get the BKB up, but still needs a Mithril Hammer about 1,000 away from getting that BKB going. Meanwhile, the Ember Spirit also presumably working. No, that's probably going to be a Desolator, I'd assume. And so second Mithril Hammer coming out in 600 gold, but still needs the recipe. As we do see a gank attempt coming out but there's nobody to gank. I don't know what this smoke attempt is really here.
It's they're gonna use Sna as bait, seeing if someone goes on her, if she comes out too far, and it looks like they might actually get their wish because Justin is close by as well as I'm a sheep suck. So
Justin, perhaps
they're gonna get their wish.
He's just gonna wait. He's gonna wait for more support. This could go very, very badly for Sneaky Nick Assassins if they do initiate on this. The bait attracted a way bigger fish than they expected. They've got to get out. The sinking lure. Can't use
they're
it.
teleporting out. They're going home.
As it turns out, yeah. There's a double damage on TA. That is going to be a big turnaround factor. If she is able to grab anybody out with that, they are going to explode.
Talking about exploding.
Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that. I just got back in time to watch the evisceration. So Ember Spirit hanging around a little bit too long. Not everybody TPing away. That Centaur hung around. So managed to use that bait after all. Yeah.
I mean, with Ike's Mike jumping in and Arrow landing, we talked about this. If Ember doesn't have his Flame Guard on early on in the game, he's just very squishy, and it showed. It just showed. He has only got Phase Dreads, and even when he's finishing his Deso, doesn't have anything else to really sustain himself either. So he needs that Slaughter to be around to be a tanky one, and the Darkseer as well, actually. Both are fairly tanky heroes.
Yeah. There is a significant amount of tank, but in addition, there's a significant amount of disposable income. That Darkseer is not really that gold dependent. He got a Blink Dagger up. He also got up a Mechanism already in this game. He farms very quickly, and there's nothing he really needs in order to be effective. So he's going to be able to buy up everything that E-Hug needs as a group. Meaning, Shadow Shaman's going to have more disposable income. Slaughter is going to have more disposable income. The Dazzle's going to have more disposable income. That buys everybody some time as Mirana gets out the Maelstrom. That's a little bit late to be effective, but it will at least increase her damage output.
Yeah, and it helps also a bit with the counter pushing because they're not strong at that at all.
No.
While E-Hug has got a fairly decent pushing and counter pushing way. They have, of course, got the Iron Shells, which are amazing for counter pushing. They've got the Shadow Shaman wards, and at least now they can do something against giant heaps of creeps coming into towers.
Yeah.
Will help DOTA push out lanes faster and therefore be back in fights faster as well if there's fights going on somewhere else.
So, Sneaky Nick Assassins, not to be outdone, are keeping up their warding, which is very important for them at this stage in the game. If they are going to take a victory, it is going to be on the heels of just having better awareness from this point forward, because every opportunity they lose is an opportunity they will not get back. Their late game does not have the carry of an Ember Spirit plus a Slardar. Though TA plus a VS plus a Mirana and a Centaur is not exactly a lightweight squad to go against in the late game, I do think that I agree with you. The late game is in fairly squarely, on the side of E-Hug.
Yeah, and on the other side, I mean, of course it's Dota. Everything can go wrong for a team, so everything is possible. There's nothing set in stone, and a team that looks weak later game can still win it if the other team makes enough mistakes. And of course, you can profit from mistakes from your enemy team. That is kind of a point that you need to be able to have. In the meantime, though, I mean, that pushing potential is definitely showing off here on the mid lane. The Shadow Shaman ward's taken down the tier 2 middle. In the meantime, bottom tier 2 has been taken down by Sneaky Nick's Assassins. So they actually turn it into a trade, which I find very good. It's better for Sneaky Nick's Assassins than it is for E-Hug, I believe.
Yeah, furthering the game as quickly as possible will work out. Anytime they can get a good trade, anytime they can get an even trade, that works out for Sneaky Nick Assassins. Normally, that mid-tier 2, a little more important. Oh, Cake's getting caught out, and he will be going down to that double edge. Slaughter thinking about coming in and has the sprint on, decides, nah, it's all right. I'm going to just turn the other cheek. And this mid-tier 1 is also going down. So that ends up becoming a 1-hero, 2-tower trade for 1 tower. Just because of the positioning of E-Hug, they were unable to respond.
Yeah, Sneaky Nick's Assassins actually ahead in towers right now, despite having the lesser amount of pushing damage, and they're really starting to be also a bit more confident. They do stick around a lot, so if someone has gone up on, normally they are around to assist, and E-Hug seemingly slowing the game down as well. I mean, the Desolator, at some point you said, like, very close to having a second Mithra Hammer. He only now has it, and of course he died earlier on, so that kind of delayed him a little bit, but it's delayed him quite a bit actually. And also Slaughter now with his BKB still sitting at 10 seconds, of course, but they're not really trying to make anything happen, not really trying to fight. Perhaps they're waiting for Roshan to be up to actually have something to fight over.
Yeah, Sneaky Nick's Assassins. I don't know if you remember, a little while ago I said, this is one time in the game where Sneaky Nick's Assassins will probably start to lose their vision and lose their control of the game. They completely proved me wrong, almost to the minute when I said that. They have taken a 4,000 gold swing into their favor, and they have continued to up their warding, whereas E-Hug has continued to have fairly lackluster warding. They have one entrance of their jungle warded. They have a little bit of vision in the top river for the rune. They don't have any Roshan ward, even though Roshan will be back in a 1 minute. They don't have any warding in their own jungle, nor on the eastern seaboard.
Watch fluff.
Ooh, there goes I'm a Sheep Sucks. He's going to be brought down to a lot of pain. And Ice might come in and grabbing that kill for himself, but
he was waiting so long in those bushes. Like, he had an Invis rune first.
Yeah.
I mean, he was waiting and waiting, and I was thinking, like, what is he doing there, wasting his time? And then, yeah, he makes it worth it. He gets a kill. Or at least he gets a kill for his centaur, I guess.
Speaking of the fishing metaphors, the patient fisherman gets the fish. They caught one too big earlier, but they waited long enough to make sure that something small enough to reel in came by. And that works out for Sand King. He doesn't need a whole lot of gold, but opening up some space for his team to farm, and also being able to get a little bit of gold doing it, though I guess it was just assist gold because Ice Mike did come in and grab that kill.
We finally have the Desto up on the Ember, and it looks like we're having a bit of a rotation. Sand King did burrow strike and TP out though, so they won't be able to find anything anymore on the bottom lane, but Yogg looks to be trying to take control back of their own jungle, and I say that because the control does seem to be quite in hands of Sneaky Nick's Assassins at this point. Also, if you look in terms of wards, they're just having the better coverage, the more aggressive coverage rather. Not
only more aggressive, just more net area. If you just look at the cubic feet, or the square feet that they have vision of, this ward up here doesn't have any rear vision, which means that it's not giving anything really. This one doesn't have any vision to the sides, whereas most of the SNA wards are giving fairly maximal vision for what they're doing. And it's also, the Lanaya traps are all over the place. So you have those psionic traps giving a little bit of vision here and there, including in the Roshan pit, where 3 seconds passed after that Roshan respawn before everybody on SNA pinged it. So they are very aware that Roshan is up, and I don't know that E-Hug is. There's going to be the second tower push attempt. Server wards are doing a fair amount of damage to this tower, and there's so far not a reaction. Moonlight Shadow is up.
Mirana's teleporting in as well, so they want to fight.
Moonlight Shadow came out a little bit early there, but there is going to be the magic missile on Jigglebilly as the tower switches aggro. The weave is used just to give him more armor. Meanwhile, Cakes is going to be caught out by the blink on the Ice Mike. Mirana grabbing that kill. There's going to be the blink from Bright. Bright grabbing a 2-man impale, or 2-man stun, excuse me. I am the Sheep Sucks is going to turn around with that shackle. Meanwhile, his team is going to be chased out. Jigglebilly has gotten up that great Pandigo. He's going to go down to the Lanaya. Now some additional auto attack damage going out, but the Slardar will be getting away. Nobody else on his team, however.
What a brilliant fight for Sneaky Nick's Assassins. That was a bit conflicting. I mean, obviously E-Hug, they saw the Moonlight Shadow go off because Mirana, I think she used it while she was still slightly visible on the lane, on the top lane. Then she walked out of the lane and teleported out, so it wasn't seen. But if you're E-Hug and you're assaulting someone's tier 2 tower and you don't see a single person of your enemy team on the map, you gotta know something's up.
Especially,
and they were split up.
Especially if your opponent has a Mirana.
Yes. And there wasn't even a sentry ward down at that point. I mean, that's something that should be down, like near the tower that you're taking down. You know that your enemy team can come in while being invis. It's, I mean, it was a good fight for Sneaky Nick's Assassins. They played it perfectly. They might not have hit the arrow, but the moment that they saw the Darkseer out of position, they jumped him in, killed him off, and then the chase was on, and they've got the perfect chasing team. A blink burrow strike from the Sand King getting a double stun. You've got the Stampede to chase people down. I mean, they can do that perfectly, and we just saw that, of course. They got the Roshan as a present as well, but I feel that E-Hug kind of dug their own grave right there.
Yeah, you can tell as a caster, particularly as a cameraman, if a team is not coordinating a fight very well, if it's